Hello and welcome to KXII 12 News Now. Now today is a very different kind of edition here on the Now because we are going to be talking a lot about some very heavy topics. So thank you very much for joining us today. It is September 11th. My name is Robin Key, and there's been a lot going on both in Texoma and then around the nation. So let's just jump into it. Now, Ardmore police are searching for a woman last seen with no clothes on since yesterday. 33-year-old Brittany Horton was last seen wearing no clothes just after midnight yesterday while walking on State Highway 53 west of the Ardmore Air Park. Ardmore police say Horton is a missing endangered person since she is dependent on medication. She is 5'9", 180 pounds with reddish brown hair and has a butterfly tattoo on her left wrist and the word Mickey tatted on her left hand/wrist. If you have any tips on where she may be, please contact the Ardmore Police Department. Then, Duncan police are asking for help finding a missing person. 20-year-old Trung Tine Vo was last seen on August 4th at 207 North 31st. If you know anything about this case, please contact the Duncan Police Department. Then, Oklahoma investigators are asking for the public's help in a homicide investigation in McCurtain County. Last Wednesday, 75-year-old Joe Salinas was found dead at a home off of Jasper Hollow Road in Tom. The OSBI says his injuries led them to believe it was a homicide. So far, no arrests. If you know anything about the case, please call the OSBI. Then, an arrest has been made in a Durant stabbing case. 24-year-old Billy St. Clair is being held at the Bryan County Jail on a charge of assault with a dangerous weapon. St. Clair is accused of stabbing Blake McKinney in the back several times Sunday night in a wooded area alongside Mississippi Street.
Witnesses and the victim at the scene were able to place at least him there, and potentially 1 to 2 others were involved.
Now, that was Sergeant Nick Spencer with the Durant Police. McKinney's family says that he is out of an induced coma and is on the road to recovery. Now, in Colbert, classes were canceled today after alleged threats to students. Superintendent Taylor Matlock says the shooting threat mentioned September 15th. The school posted to its website that the FBI and local law enforcement are investigating the threats to determine the origin and credibility. We have a reporter looking into this case, and we will keep you updated. Then, moving to national news, but all too relevant, 2 students are wounded, and the juvenile suspect is dead after a shooting at a Denver area high school in Colorado yesterday. The sheriff's office says the gunman opened fire with a revolver. Video shows terrified students fleeing the scene and ringing a doorbell at a nearby home. Others were on lockdown inside Evergreen High School. There's the video of them ringing the doorbell. Police say first responders reached the scene within 2 minutes of receiving a 911 call. They say authorities were in contact with the suspect about 3 minutes later. Officials say the suspect was taken to the hospital with a self-inflicted gun wound and later died. Now, a manhunt is underway in Utah with the person who shot and killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk at an event at a college campus has still not been identified. Officials say the suspect appears to be of college age and blended in with the crowd after the shooting. CBS's Andrea Gutierrez is in Omen, Utah, with the latest.
Investigators in Utah say they have good video footage of the person they suspect killed Charlie Kirk yesterday.
We are investing everything we have into this, and we will catch this individual.
Police say they found what they believe to be the murder weapon in a wooded area, a high-powered bolt-action rifle. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News the single shot was likely fired from the roof of the nearby Low-C Center. It happened right as Kirk was fielding a question about gun violence.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
Investigators have also collected footwear impression a palm print and forearm imprints for analysis.
Kirk was a highly influential conservative activist who was hosting an event at Utah Valley University.
He helped people to have a voice. He helped have discussions. He was probably the reason Trump won.
2 people were briefly detained after the shooting. Investigators say they determined both had nothing to do with the attack. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Orem, Utah.
As mentioned, Kirk was a highly influential conservative activist. His assassination was one of a number of escalating attacks on political figures, from the assassination of a Democrat state lawmaker and her husband in Minnesota last summer to last summer's shooting of Trump. Now, all of these have really taken the nation by storm. Kirk was an unabashed Christian conservative who often made provocative statements about gender, race, and politics. Kirk launched his organization, Turning Point USA, in 2012, targeting younger people and venturing out into liberal-leaning colleges' campuses, where many GOP activists were nervous to tread. Now, Kirk announced he was organizing buses to travel to Washington to back Trump on January 6, 2021, and later invoked the Fifth Amendment rather than answering questions from the January 6 subcommittees. Kirk also, at a Turning Point USA convention in 2023, said that gun deaths were unfortunately worth it to defend the Second Amendment. He is known for a lot more and has been looked up to by young conservatives across the nation. Now, in reaction to the news, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt posted a photo of the two of them with a caption that said, "Charlie was a great American. The world will be a darker place without him here." He also offered condolences to Kirk's family. Then, U.S. Senator James Lankford also released a statement after Kirk's death was announced. The Oklahoman official went live on Facebook. He offered his thoughts and prayers to Kirk's loved ones and reflected on the multitude of political assassinations that have been happening recently. He told viewers not to let themselves become afraid, quote, "Charlie Kirk was a person that was not afraid to say what he thought and to let others what they thought. He was literally speaking out to people and saying, 'Prove me wrong.' They could not prove him wrong, so they shot him," unquote. When it came to retaliation, what to do next in general, Lankford had harsh words for any aggressors, instead referring back to him and Kirk's shared faith.
I've had folks that have reached out to me and say, this is the moment we need to take up arms. And I just have said to them, basically, shut up, stop. Paul spoke in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 that we are reconcilers. We have the message and the ministry of reconciliation. We are Christ's ambassadors. It's also something that Charlie Kirk believed. Our nation doesn't need an example of bitter, angry rhetoric and about I'm going to hit them harder than they hit me. When people speak out about acts of violence and about we're going to take this out on other people, we should confront each other and to say we are the United States of America, and we are not at our best as we're attacking each other. We're at our best when we protect the rights of each other and allow individuals to be able to speak their mind and to be able to honor our United States Constitution. That's when we're at our best. So for my fellow Oklahomans, let's be our best.
Lankford also reminded people that the government would bring the shooter to justice, saying it was the state and the Lord's job, not theirs. Now, the reactions didn't just come from Oklahoma. Today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott directed all state government buildings to lower the United States and Texas flags to half-staff. This was part of President Donald J. Trump's proclamation honoring the memory of Charlie Kirk. Abbott released this statement, quote, "This senseless act of violence has no place in America. Texas stands with Charlie's family and loved ones in mourning and honoring his enduring legacy," unquote. Flags will be returned to half-staff to full staff on sunset on Sunday. Then Grayson County's criminal district attorney Kermit Hill also released a statement asking people to pray with him. He commended Kirk for his bravery in exercising his First Amendment right. Hill said that he wants the action to be persecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Then Texas Representative Shelley Luther posted to Facebook with an old photo of a post Kirk had made calling for Luther to be pardoned. She thanked him for always fighting for justice. Then Texas Representative David Spiller posted on Facebook calling the assassination an evil, horrific, and disgusting. Now, Texas State Senator Brett Hagberg, Texas Representative David Stiller, and Oklahoma State Senator David Bullard also posted about Kirk's death, thanking him and offering prayers for his family. I'm sure that we will be seeing more as the day goes on. Now, Kirk's death is, of course, continuing to be investigated, and we hope that you will stay with KXII 12 as we are able to show you more of what happens as we get more information. Now, today is another important day. Today is 9/11, and many people in Texoma are finding ways to remember the event and honor those who helped put America back together after this great tragedy. Now, to see in a list of events that you can go and participate in, you can go to KXI.com. That list will be updated all day with different things that are happening as they come out, as times change, etc. We will also be having a few stories for tonight's shows about ways that people have chosen to honor this day. So make sure that you tune in then. Now, that is all for this kind of different version of KXII 12 News Now. We hope that you join us here again on Monday. We will not be having a show tomorrow. Again, we hope that you tune in later today at our 6 and 10 to be able to hear more stories about how Texoma was remembering 9/11. And then generally, if you want a deeper dive, if you want to learn more about any of the stories that we have talked about today, go ahead and visit KXI.com. And then also make sure you're following our Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, and TikTok. There you will be able to find exclusive content, constant updates, and all of our past stories. But until Monday, have a good day, Texoma.